Greetings, YouTube Airborne 80. Some of you saw the last video I posted that was profiling the Cold Steel SRK beautiful knife that I purchased. Yeah, I know this is not like aesthetically pleasing to some, but I like it. And I thought to myself when I was, because I just catch myself admiring it all the time. I mean, I literally am just, you know how it is. If you know, you know. You know, when you get a new knife or a new firearm, you just can't stop handling it. You know, and especially if it's a really well made, well balanced knife, you can't put it down. And so, if I had $1 for every time I've picked this up and handled it since I bought it, I'd be a millionaire. But I was just thinking, you know, those that have been around for a while know that I don't plan any videos out. We'll just see what comes out of my mouth. And what I was thinking was maybe I should share with you non-knife people, people that don't have a lot of expertise about knives and how to choose them, the best quality knives and how to use them in self-defense and whatever. Maybe you need to hear exactly some real deep wisdom from a guy who's 61 years old. That's me, um, who has absolutely no knowledge of knives either, other than they're awesome, and I do buy a lot of them, and I'll probably be buying a lot more. This has sparked my addiction back into life, but I say that kind of tongue in cheek. First of all, when it comes to experts, anybody that knows me knows I say this all the time. Be wary of people that are experts in anything. I never claim to be an expert, and I have a few things on the I Love Me wall that might give somebody the impression that I'm an expert in this, that, or the other thing. But the fact of the matter is, as I see it, um, it's really dangerous to think you are an expert at anything because life is changing, technology changes. You know, things move on. We get older, we get weaker. Uh, I'm not comfortable with experts. There's always room to grow. Is the meaning of that whole concept or that thought process. But with that in mind, I have no formal training whatsoever on knives. Um, I've never been in a combat experience with a knife. But like I said, I do own knives. I've been in law enforcement. I'm retired now, but I've got a combined time of just under 30 years in law enforcement, federal and state. And I've dealt with a lot of knives, and I've seen an awful lot of the after effects of people who have lost battles to the knife. Not pretty. And some of the things I've learned are the following. And you knife experts, please jump in and tell me where I'm completely wrong. I'm not being sarcastic. I'm like super curious and serious. But one thing I can tell you, when I was working, I didn't have to work in LAPD too long before in the 80s and 90s when it was a pretty bloody mess out there. And I started realizing that, if I had to choose between getting shot or stabbed, I think I'd take getting shot. Now, that may sound crazy to some people, but I'm just telling you the amount of people that I saw survive edged weapon wounds versus gunshot wounds. Maybe it was just my experience, but you shove something like this into the human body, and every inch it moves, it's severing very cleanly in most cases. Um, things that shouldn't be severed. Uh, Hang on a second. That's my buddy Alan. Let me tell him I'll call him back. Sorry, but yeah. Uh, I'll take the gunshot, and I know that, like I said, that's probably an extreme thing, but let's hope I don't ever have to prove either one of those out. The other thing I've noticed about knife combat, if you will, is when we often see people in movies, and again, this may be totally wrong. This is my experience. We see people in movies, and the psycho is coming after somebody. Rah, rah, rah. My belief and combined with the limited experience I have leads me to believe that when I see somebody holding a knife like this, I'm less concerned. I'm always going to be concerned when somebody pulls out a sharp object, but I am much less concerned with this than I am with this. This to me seems like a hell of a lot more deadly. And this is how I would hold this. If this is the weapon that I had in my hand and somebody came through the door unwanted and threatening my safety or the safety of the people I love or my dogs, if I was to reach and grab this because for some reason I couldn't grab one of the 32 guns that are within my freaking arm's reach right now, um, and I'm not even quite seriously joking. I could reach out and grab one right now, but I'd probably be violating some YouTube thing. So, yeah, I believe that when you hold the knife like this, or in this case, I like to have my finger here on this blade because it's got a really wide, I don't know what you call it, man. Tang. How do I know? I'm not a knife expert. But this part is so wide right there. I don't know if you can see it. It just feels comfortable. Knock it off. It just feels comfortable. And to me, that is a good uh, a thrusting position. Now, to me, it doesn't. I guess it doesn't matter whether I'm doing this or this, but that's one way to hold it. But that's if somebody ran up on me. Now, if I was seriously going to get into it with somebody and all I had was this or any knife, I would actually hold it like this. And I would run that blade right up along my arm. Okay? Don't try not to get distracted by my stupid little uh, thingamajig here. But I'd have it here because now I'm fighting like I would normally fight. But with each fight, look at that. Bam! This is a weapon right here. This is a hard ass weapon. And that's going to do damage when you connect with somebody's jaw. But on top of that, as I follow through, oh Lord, look what I've done. I'm slicing anything that's in front. And then if the suspect number two is coming up behind and I lunge back, ooh, look at that. I caught a fish, you know? So every move I make is slicing and dicing and punching and cutting and protecting. And it would be very, very, in my non-professional opinion, it would be very difficult to disarm me if you didn't have a firearm with this. When I'm fighting you like this, I mean anywhere you grab is going to cause some kind of problem for you. Um, Whereas I think if you're doing this, somebody can limit your movement. You know, the less movement you get and momentum. I mean, it's not very hard to control somebody like this. And while this is happening, knees are going into fucking groins. You know, all kinds of shit is happening because we have other body parts that we can use in combat. So that's uh, that's my take on that. The next thing I'll say about this particular knife, the SRK, it's not an extremely beautiful blade. And by the way, I get nothing from Cold Steel who makes these. Um, this is just my opinion on it. There's nothing that screams beauty and oh my god, look how gorgeous it is. And yet there is. This is a very odd blade in the sense that it's so fucking, I can't even say ugly. It's so non-beautiful that it's gorgeous. It is super, super pleasing to the eye, to my eyes, anyways, because it's just what you see is what you get. It's a working piece of artistic kit that is super tough. You don't believe me? I wish I could name names, but I'd have to pause the video. I just was looking at reviews of the SRK, Cold Steel SRK. Just put them in the search thing in YouTube. And I'm watching one dude, I can't remember his name. Oh God, it's right on the tip of my tongue. Kind of a heavy dude with a beard, southern accent. Beating the crap out of his. He loves it. You know, he's chopping, he's stabbing, he's slicing, he's dicing, and you know, he's hammering, and he loves it. It's it's not something to be looked at and protected. It's something to be used. It's a tool. So, am I recommending you get one? Why not, man? Go look at my last video and it'll tell you the price that I paid, and I'm sure it's still the same. I know it was unbelievably, it was like under 80 bucks, I think. And that's hard to believe, but it's true. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed my little out of the blue video. And if you liked it, tell me about it. Maybe I'll do more. In the meantime, stay safe. Airborne 80, I'm out.